Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and in this video I'm going to be checking out Cities of Venus. Cities of Venus is a simultaneous action space-themed Euro designed by James and Adam Staley with illustrations from Daniel Cunha. Cities of Venus is being published by 10 Robot Games. The year is 2222. People of Earth have established city-states in the clouds of Venus. In order to assist, the Earth regularly sends people to work there, city upgrades in the form of cloud drops. However, a recent catastrophe has happened on Earth, which has cut off communication with Venus, so no one knows when the next set of supplies are going to be coming. As one of the city's governors, you must compete against other players to establish dominance for your city's survival, and grow your city and deploy your scientists in the International Innovation Station. In addition to mining on Venus' resources, players also have to prepare for hazardous events and make the most of every cloud drop that you get, as the next one could be your last. Cities of Venus is a mid-weight Euro for 2 to 4 players. Let me show you what comes in the box. Okay, these are the components in Cities of Venus. We have the neoprene mat that, as far as I know, will come with every version of the game. We have some component containers that also come with the game. This one happens to be shaped like a rocket, and it is full of V-knots. V-knots will be symbolizing pretty much all your resources in various areas of your player board. And that brings us to this. The game is playable up to 5 players. As far as I know, I think it might expand to 6. This is a prototype version. Yes, there is a neoprene mat. The things you're seeing here in terms of the components themselves and the artwork are all going to be subject to change. So these are your actual boards. Okay, the area at the top is for food, and the row underneath it, going from left to right, you have power, air, the mechanical room, and the row at the bottom, you have your shields, your gems that are mined, and then you have your mining robots. The area at the very bottom is your holding bay. That's the area you would use for upgrades that you're not really able to get yet, but you claim it just so no one else can get it, because it's all about you and your city on Venus. We're also going to have a plethora of cloud drop cards, so levels 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is just a sample card here. If we go from the right side to the left, starting off on the right strip, you will see 2 mechanical room icons and 2 gems. That is the cost for this particular card. And then moving on to the left from there, you see a gem icon with a roll icon. This would allow you to re-roll if you took a mining action. So you can re-roll your die and perhaps get even more gems. Moving on from there, in the lower left corner, it will retain the maximum of 6 V-knots for that particular area. Some cards can increase that number. Some cards can actually decrease it. Typically the trade-off is you get more points for it, or you get some really good benefit that makes it worth being able to have fewer of those resources in that area. And then the one in the gem above it is a victory point. And in the upper left corner, that just signifies that this goes into the mining area. One of the cool parts of the game is that you are able to upgrade your actual board. So were you to get this card, you can upgrade that whole area. So now it still retains the 6 maximum. It belongs in the mining area, and now it offers an ability and gives you a point. These are all meant to be upgraded. You can upgrade this area by sliding it in from the bottom here, but this actually doesn't belong in that area. I was just showing you, and the holding area just kind of holds it. If you touch it, it will fall. Gravity is still a factor in this game. Because there is one deck comprised of level 1s, 2s, and 3s that's going to go here, and these cards are going to come out every round, the game would actually come to an end once the Earth card comes out. This deck here is full of event cards, and event cards typically are bad. Of course, the one I drew was not really bad. This just means at the beginning of that round, everybody would get 2 V-knots and get to place them wherever they wish. The majority of cards are typically bad. Like this one, you'd lose 1 V-knot from your power area, shield, and your mining area. And should you have only 1 in those areas, then you would have none. This card represents the International Innovation Station, and players are allowed to add up to 2 at a time V-knots to this card. And once the max of 8 is there, that enables them to get the innovation cards. So these are innovation cards, and there'll be 4 placed out here. This particular one protects you from having to shed one of your shield resources at the beginning of every round. Thematically, the very acidic environment in Venus constantly weakens the shield. So in step 3 of every round, I'll go over that in a moment, everybody has to get rid of one V0 resource from their shield area. And every player will get a die with which to roll for mining. Whatever number comes up is how many gems you're able to get. So if I got 3, I would just take 3 of these. These are worth 4, these are worth 8. Those are pretty much all the components. Let me run you through what a turn might look like. Okay, the first step of the turn is the drop. So you would take out, so I was playing a 4-player game. The number of cards you reveal will be the number of players plus 1. So 5 cards will come out. So that is the drop. And the number of event cards that will be played at the beginning of that round is determined by the number of drop cards that have the event triangle on it. There's only 1. So I'm just going to draw 1. And this one just happens to be the one that I didn't shuffle from before, which is gaining, everybody would get 2 V0s. I can place these 2 V0s where I wish. So I'm going to put 1 on the mining area, and then I'm going to put 1 on the IIS. Okay, the next step is to drop shields. I already mentioned the acidic environment constantly weakening the shield, so every player would have to discard a V0 from their shield area. After that, you grow population and deploy. Growing the population is determined by the food and air areas. Whichever one of them has the fewest number of V0s is how much your population grows by. If there's a tie, there's 4 and 4, you would just get 4. Even if you have 1 in one of these areas, the fewest number you would actually get during a game is 2. So you're always guaranteed at least 2 V0s in that step of the game. So I can put 1 in my shield. I could add 1 to here. So which means if I maintain these, I have 5 and 5, which means I would get 5 V0s in the following round. Whenever you would get an upgrade, meaning you would slide a card into it, it does cost you a V0 from the mechanical area with which to do it, in addition to the cost for the card. All right, so I grew the population and deployed and sent people out to where I wanted them to work for money. They get paid to work. Step number 5. Step number 5 are the city actions. Your city actions are 3 different things that you can do in any order, and everybody would do them at the exact same time, much like all the other steps. And there are 3 different city actions. You can do them in any order you wish. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to mine. So if I'm going to mine, I go to my mining area. I have to put a V0 back into the supply, and then I can roll the mining die. I got 5, so I would take a 4 and a 1. I think the game makes change, but just in case it doesn't, I'll take all singles. That was 1 city action you can take. Only you can take is encouraging immigration, which means you would use the resources and gems you have, I guess thematically, to build housing, provide resources for an additional V0, but only 1 per round. So if I use 4 gems to create more resources, I am able to bring another V0 into my board, or I guess the IIS as well. And the other action for city actions is you are able to equip a previously stored canister. And by canister, I mean one of the cargo drops here from a previous round. In the first round, you don't have any, but later on, if you had something that you couldn't afford to purchase, let's say you were short the gem or any number of the requirements on the right side, you could just store that card down here. And this will be the time when, if you have the resources to build it, this will be the time when, if you have the resources to build it, you'll be able to do so. So if you have the resources, you would discard the V0s in the various areas. So 1 from here, 1 from here. Let's just pretend this one was over here. And then I would just do that. And this would actually upgrade my shield area, which would mean now I can have 7 V0s in the shield area instead of the normal 6. And the last step will be grabbing cargo. And in turn order, every player will get a chance to pick one of these cards. And this one allows you to instantly get 6 V0s. It's pretty nice. But it doesn't upgrade anything. It's just an instant. You just get 6 V0s instantly and can put them where you wish. The other ones would be upgrades you would slide into one of your particular areas. So everybody would pick one in turn order. Which one would I pick? This one is pretty useful. If I could afford it, it'd be great. Cost 2 mechanical and 2 gems. I have 1 mechanical and no gem and 1 gem. I have 1 VNOT in my mechanical area and 1 gem. But what it does allow you to do is allow you to re-roll during the mining. It allows you to re-roll when you're mining 1 time per round, which is kind of useful, and it offers you a point, and it maintains your 6 VNOT limit here. So, but because I can't get it and I don't have the resources, I would just put it down here, and then on another round during a city action, if I had the resources, then I could upgrade my mining area or any of the other areas. Like this one upgrades, I guess, your food capabilities. You can have 7 VNOTs in that area, which is kind of nice, because if you can get 7, if you can upgrade the air one and have 7 in both, that means you get 7 VNOTs every round, which is kind of nice. In this one, you would get 10 VNOTs instantly and a victory point. That's pretty cool. And that's how a round would go. And they go by pretty quickly. Everybody does the same steps at the same time, except for grabbing cargo. During grabbing cargo, you just go in turn order to get one of these, the cargo drop cards, and innovation only comes up when somebody has up to 8 VNOTs on your board. In the game, you would get 1 victory point for every 2 VNOTs you have on your board. 1 victory point for every 4 minerals. 2 victory points for the most VNOTs in your city. 2 victory points for the most minerals. And then, of course, all the victory points that all the cards, whether they be slid in here or ones that you got stuff instantly for. Any card that has victory points on it, whether it's in your board or just kind of to the side, you get points for that. Whoever has the most points wins the game. And that is how Cities of Venus plays. One of the things I really like about Cities of Venus is the fact that it plays pretty quickly. I like games that have simultaneous actions. Now, although you can't jump to a subsequent round without everybody going at the same time, steps 1 through 5 all happen simultaneously. The only step that is done in turn order is when you're picking up cargo at the end of a round. So the game was at a nice pace, and before you know it, you'll be really worried about that Earth card coming up when you're at the level 3 drops, because that means that the game is about to come to an end, and if you haven't finished and accomplished some of the goals you had, you better do it before you run out of time. Anyway, that's Cities of Venus. Nice, quick midweight Euro from 10 Robot Games. There will be a link in the description below if you wish to support it. If you think it's interesting, I suggest you back it and get your own copy. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.